1958 bad penny. The Lincoln wheat penny, designed by Victor David Brenner, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This marked the first time a U.S. coin featured a real person's image. The obverse or front features Lincoln's portrait, while the reverse shows two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent in United States of America. The wheat design was used from 1909 until 1958, making the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny the final year of this iconic design before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. So you found a 1958 wheat penny, but it's in pretty rough shape. The question is, what's it worth? Well, let's talk about the key factors that determine its value. Coins are graded based on their condition, from poor P1 to mint state MS70. If your 1958 Lincoln wheat penny is heavily worn, maybe it's scratched, corroded, or missing fine details, it likely falls in the good or fair category on the scale. Unfortunately, bad condition pennies often have very little value, typically ranging from 3 to 5 cents. However, even in poor condition, these coins still hold historical value, especially being the last year of the wheat penny series. If you have a roll of them or multiple in circulation, they might fetch a little more in bulk. Even if your 1958 Lincoln wheat penny isn't in great condition, there are still a few things you should check that could increase its value. Here's what to look for. The 1958 penny was struck at two different mints, Philadelphia no mint mark and Denver marked with a D. Generally, pennies from Philadelphia are more common, while Denver minted pennies might be worth a little more, even in bad condition. Errors and varieties. Look for any unusual mint errors like double dies or repunched mint marks. A rare error could significantly increase the value, even if the coin is in poor shape. Some collectors specialize in lowball coins or coins in the worst possible condition. If yours fits that description, it could still find a buyer. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny represents the end of an era in American coinage. For almost 50 years, this design was a symbol of the country's agricultural roots and a tribute to Abraham Lincoln's legacy. The switch to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959 marked a new chapter, but for collectors, the wheat penny holds a nostalgic value. These pennies were in circulation during significant events like the post-war economic boom and the start of the space race. So even if your 1958 penny isn't in the best condition, it's still a piece of American history. 1951 Lincoln wheat penny. The Lincoln wheat penny, also known as the Wheatie, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by sculptor Victor D. Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's face. The wheat ears on the reverse symbolized prosperity and were used until 1958. After that, they were replaced with the Lincoln Memorial design. But today, we're specifically focusing on the 1951 edition, a fairly common year but still an important piece of U.S. coinage history. In 1951, the Lincoln wheat penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced millions of these pennies, but the mint mark can play a big role in determining a coin's value. Let's break down the mintage numbers for each mint. Philadelphia no mint mark, 284,576,000 minted. Denver D mint mark, 625,355,000 minted. San Francisco S mint mark, 136,010,000 minted. So, as you can see, the 1951 Denver penny had the highest mintage, followed by Philadelphia and then San Francisco, which produced the fewest. But what does that mean for the value? Let's talk about that next. The value of a 1951 Lincoln wheat penny largely depends on its condition, or what collectors call the grade. Coins that are heavily circulated are worth much less than coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition. For circulated coins, the ones that have seen some wear and tear, you're looking at a value of about 3 to 10 cents. These are pennies that have been in pocket change, handled, and have lost some of their original shine. But if your penny is in mint state, meaning it hasn't been circulated and still has its original luster, the value can go up. Uncirculated examples can range from $1 to $15 or more, depending on the grade. And if you're lucky enough to have a penny graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, especially one in high mint state, you could be looking at values upward of $20 to $100. The higher the grade, the more it's worth. Collectors love pristine examples. Now, keep in mind that mint marks can affect the value too. For example, a 1951 S penny in higher grades tends to be more desirable because of the lower mintage from San Francisco. One thing that can significantly increase the value of a 1951 penny is if it has an error or variety. Some of the errors you might find include double die strikes, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. These rare variations can make your penny worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. 1906 bad condition wheat penny. The Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history, but here's the kicker: the Lincoln wheat penny wasn't actually minted until 1909. That's right. If you're holding a penny from 1906, it's not a Lincoln penny at all. Instead, you're looking at a 1906 Indian head penny, which was in circulation before the Lincoln series began. So, while the 1906 Lincoln penny doesn't exist, the Indian head penny minted in that year is what collectors are usually referring to when they mistakenly think of Lincoln pennies from 1906. Now, let's talk about the design of this penny. On the obverse side, you'll see Lady Liberty donning a Native American headdress, hence the name Indian head penny. On the reverse, there's a simple wreath surrounding the 1-cent denomination. This design, created by James Barton Longaker, was minted from 1859 to 1909, right before the Lincoln penny replaced it. The year 1906 saw a high production of Indian head pennies. The U.S. Mint produced over 96 million pennies that year, with coins minted in Philadelphia. That makes 1906 a relatively common year for Indian head pennies. But keep in mind, rarity isn't the only factor that determines a coin's value. Condition plays a big role as well. If you have a 1906 Indian head penny in bad condition, you might be wondering what it's worth. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state for a penny in poor condition, where the details of Lady Liberty's face and the headdress are barely visible. The value tends to be on the lower end. A 1906 Indian head penny in poor condition might be worth anywhere between $1 to $3. If it's in slightly better condition, say good grade, the value can increase up to $10 or $20. The real value for this coin comes in high grades or if it has any rare minting errors, which could boost its price significantly. When identifying the condition of your 1906 penny, there are a few things to look for. Wear on Lady Liberty's face and feathers. If the features are smooth and hard to distinguish, your coin is likely in poor condition. The clarity of the wreath and 1-cent text on the reverse, a lot of wear here could reduce its value. Overall discoloration, while tarnishing is normal, severe corrosion can also affect the price. If you want to keep your 1906 Indian head penny in the best condition possible, store it in a protective case and avoid touching it with your bare hands. The oils from your skin can cause further deterioration. 1944 bad condition wheat penny. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny. This coin was minted during a pivotal time in American history, right in the middle of World War II. In 1944, the United States was heavily involved in World War II. The government needed copper for ammunition and other war materials, so the U.S. Mint used zinc-coated steel for the pennies instead of the usual copper. This steel penny, known as the 1943 steel wheat penny, was actually the penny of that year, but in 1944 they returned to using copper. The 1944 Lincoln penny, made from copper, is part of the Lincoln wheat series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. The coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. It's a simple yet iconic design that has captured the hearts of collectors for decades. Now let's focus on the 1944 Lincoln penny in poor condition. Coins like these might have seen a lot of wear and tear over the years. You might notice significant scratches, fading, or even some corrosion. But even in less than perfect shape, there's still value here. The condition of a coin is graded on a scale from poor P1 to mint state MS70. A 1944 Lincoln penny in poor condition will typically be graded as good G4, fair F12. These coins can be quite affordable, with values ranging from a few cents to a couple of dollars depending on the level of wear and any other factors. Despite their condition, 1944 Lincoln pennies are collectible for several reasons. For one, they are part of a historical series that spans nearly half a century. Additionally, even in bad shape, they are still considered a piece of American history. Comparatively, a well-preserved 1944 Lincoln penny can fetch a higher price, especially if it's in uncirculated or mint state condition. Rare varieties and errors can also affect the value, but for most collectors, the appeal lies in owning a piece of history, even if it's a bit worn. So whether you have a 1944 Lincoln penny that's seen better days or one that's still in pretty good shape, you've got a fascinating piece of American history on your hands. It's incredible to think about the stories each coin could tell if it could talk. 1945 wheat penny. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny was minted at a time of great historical significance. The end of World War II was just around the corner, and the country was transitioning from wartime to peacetime. This context adds a layer of intrigue to the coin's story. First, let's talk about the design. The 1945 Lincoln penny features the iconic wheat ears on the reverse side, which was designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was used from 1909 to 1958, making it a staple of American coinage. Now let's discuss the coin's value. The value of a 1945 Lincoln penny can vary greatly depending on its condition. Here's a quick breakdown. Good G4 in this grade, the coin will have noticeable wear and details will be less defined. These can be worth around 10 to 20 cents. Very fine VF20. This grade shows a bit more detail with only slight wear on high points. These pennies can fetch between $1 to $3. Uncirculated Mississippi 60 to MS 65 coins in this condition show no signs of wear and have excellent detail. Uncirculated 1945 pennies can range from $5 to $15 or more, depending on their specific grade and any unique characteristics. One of the exciting aspects of the 1945 penny is its potential for rare varieties and errors. For example, there are some rare errors like the 1945 Micro S variety, which can be worth a significant amount more. Keep an eye out for these as you build your collection. Collectors love the 1945 Lincoln penny not just for its historical context, but also for its role in American numismatic history. It's a tangible piece of post-war optimism and economic recovery. So whether you're looking to add a 1945 Lincoln penny to your collection or just learning about it, I hope this video has given you valuable insights. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more coin content and history. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video where we explore more about the world of coin collecting.